Hello people YouTube, how are you today? It is me, Abby, and today I'm going to be doing another Storytime video. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Didn't you have this exact outfit, the exact makeup in your last Storytime video? I'm like, yes. Hi guys, I know you actually didn't see that video because I decided not to post it because I hated it too much, I was babbling too much, and I did Storytime in that makeup before. So I decided not to keep it. Sorry about that. Let's get on to the video. So if you hear me say, but in the last video, there's no last video. I decided not to post it, so you're going to be seeing me in that makeup and hair anyway, so yeah. Yes, I did. The thing is, I wanted to film another one, and I'm not going to redo my makeup, and I'm not going to put on a different shirt just to make it look anything different. No, I'm going to stay my lazy ass self while I do this video, so you're just going to have to deal with it. Okay, and what, who knows, do you not like my makeup today? I know the lip is much, but I like it. I like being different. Remember when I used to do videos like this all the time, guys, back in the day? If you do remember, let me know, comments down below. But, today I'm going to be discussing kind of like the double whammy that happened at school. The double injury, we'll say, that happened at my school last year. Let's get started with this story. Okay, this happened around last year when I was still a senior in high school. It was around April, I think, because I know it was around springtime because we had this thing in my town where it's like the children's art festival. And we kids do art and like make little crafts all throughout what's called old downtown Yuma, or what I like to call Old Town Yuma, where I live. And during the time, but a couple weeks before that, so I think it was around March, actually, like the end of March, I was working on this project that was taking me months to do because I was a part of this gallery that they were having in our art center where it was called the Neon Forest, and it was a bunch of like abstract sculptures. Like a lot of people, including myself, were working on this giant neon like tree and stuff to do the neon forest, and then me and other students were making other little abstract like say bushes and trees and stuff to go around it. And if I could find a picture, I'll put it in. Because it wasn't supposed to look like a tree. It was just a bunch of abstract sculptures. And for me, I was doing mine by myself. A lot of people were working with other people. For me, I did it all by myself. I think I got a little help from my stepdad because I had to take it home, and I was working on it for hours every single night. Not the point of the story, but what was happening was my first period. This happened in the morning. My first period class, what happened was I was in what's called advanced 3D design, which is essentially ceramics, but more wide in variation, and it has more of a stricter rule. Like you have to make like projects with a deadline. You have to make it look professional. You have to make your projects like something people want. Like it was much more of a harder class. You had to do this. You learned that. Like if you know anything about ceramics, I think you know what I'm talking about. But we were doing this like the thing for the abstract rainforest, the neon rainforest. And for me, I was working on my project, and it took a lot of things. I was making it out of paper mache, paper gauze. What is it called? Plaster gauze, caulking, hot glue, and then a bunch of other stuff from cardboard to foam. And I had to use the hot glue gun a lot. Like I remember moving my project all the way to the end of the room when this happened, and I was just like I wasn't finishing the last of it, but I was just putting on the smaller pieces that had to go on it. So when I was putting on these smaller pieces, I had to use the hot glue gun, and I was taking my time, I was being careful, but then the hot glue gun jammed. And then I'm just like, okay, and I didn't notice that since it jammed, a ton of hot glue was coming out of the nozzle, and it ended up landing all on my fingers. And I'm just like in it was hot too. Like, it wasn't just like you get a little bit and you can peel it off. It burns a little bit. No, I meant like a ton went on my hand, and I'm just freaking out. I'm like, fuck. And then this happened, and I'm embarrassed to say it, but I hit myself in the face, and it got on my lip. So I'm like, I run to the sink, I drop the hot glue in, and I go to wash my hands, and I'm washing it, and I'm peeling it off, and I see that my hand is burnt. Like, it burned like this part of my finger, and this part of my finger, and a little bit of this one. And then there's my lip. And I couldn't touch it on my lips, so I just felt it for like a minute or two until it dried, and it was just like the searing hot pain, and I had like tears going down my face. Luckily, I wasn't wearing makeup that day, because it'd be a disaster. But my teacher sees, and everybody's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm peeling off hot glue from my skin, and it's not bleeding, but you can see it's blistering, definitely. Like, you know what happens when you get a burn and it gets blistered and it's getting all wet and juicy. And then I finally peeled it off my lip, and that hurt so much because the skin of my lip came right off, and it started bleeding. Like, my lip was like bleeding, not profusely, but a good amount was coming out. So like, I covered up, and then my teacher just sends me to the nurse's office. I go to the nurse's office, but because I have burns, they put my hand in a bucket of cold water, and they put an ice pack on my lip. I'm in there because when I was in my class, the bell was already about to ring, and I had to go to my second period. But so I was in there for a while. I was in there, and by the time I went to my second period, it was almost like when the bell was gonna ring. Then I was in there for so long, they had to wrap my hand up. They literally had to like wrap it up in like actual like gauze and stuff. They put like ointment, a wet piece of cotton, I think, with like alcohol, I think. No, not alcohol. It was something. I don't remember. And then they wrapped it in gauze, and I had to have an ice pack for my lip. The ice pack got done, and I went to my third period. Everything was kind of fine. I had like a busted lip. My hand was just like all effed up with burns. And finally lunch came around. And when I was at lunch, I was telling my friends exactly what happened. And I'm like, yeah, this freaking happened. I'm already having kind of like a bad day because of the burn and stuff. But then this is where it gets worse. Because as we were talking, I was talking to my one friend, and I didn't notice that a couple feet from us, two freshmen boys, they were big too, they didn't look like freshmen, got into a fight, and they were running, and they knocked my friend over, and her food went everywhere, and I felt so bad for her. And I don't know why, but my immediate instinct was to go run and yell stop and like try to stop them. And I think it's just because I'm that kind of person. I don't like to see people fight, and if they do, I try to break it up. But they were like throwing punches, and like they weren't like immediately like always punching. They like ran around each other, and then finally, like when I was like, "Hey, stop!" This is like where it finally gets bad, because the guy who was running didn't see me when I was trying to yell stop and running in front of them, and he jumps on top of me. He falls. Like, that's not what got worse. The guy was running. The other guy who was going to punch this guy missed the guy and punched me right in the jaw as hard as possible. And I just went like I was standing, I just went, and I felt it, and I'm just like, and then finally like people came because they saw me get punched, and they like finally separated them. The teachers came, and they had to go to the nurse's office because they got like punched and stuff, and they had to make sure they were okay before they went to the principal's office to get suspended and stuff. But the bell rang right then and there too, and I'm like, I feel my jaw, and I'm just like, I move it, and it pops back into place, and it was like this searing pain again. Like, it hurt so badly. So I'm just like, I have to go back to the nurse. So I have like this big red spot forming. You can tell like a bruise is definitely gonna form. But again, this is not where it ends. I go to the nurse's office. I tell them what happened. They're like, "You're back again? Are you okay?" I'm like, you know, I said, "You know that fight that just happened right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, the guys are in the back room. I tried to stop it, and they punched me in the face." And she's like, "Let me see." And she sees like it's red. She's like, "Let me get you an ice pack." She gives me an ice pack, and I'm pressing it there. But because I was involved in the fight, I had to sign this form for the school saying exactly what happened. I'm thinking, oh crap, they're gonna make me come into the office now and explain what happened to see if it was a part of the fight. But no, actually, they never called me once. So I filled out like this form. It was a long form. Explain what you did, your name, your school period, what class you'd be in, and explain what happened. And I just put like, I tried to stop it and they punched me in the face. And I was thinking like I'd be called in like by the principal because stuff like this has happened before. And I can't, that's a story I actually can't tell on camera. But, you know, I thought they were going to call me in. They never did. So finally, after about 30 minutes of filling the paperwork and I got an ice pack, I am allowed to go back to my next class, which is my 4th period. And by that time, again, the bell is not about to ring, but it's like 10 minutes from ringing, you know? Like 10, 20 minutes from actually ringing. And I'm walking in. I have gauze wrapped around my fingers from burns. I have a busted lip. And I have a bruise forming on my jaw with an ice pack. And I walk in, and everybody stares at me. And it was the most uncomfortable thing. But then my teacher, of all people, looks at me and he goes, "What the fuck happened to you?" And I said nonchalantly, I got burned this morning, and then I tried to stop a fight, and they punched me in the face. And he's like, "Do you need to go back to the nurse?" And I'm like, "No, I'm fine." He's like, "Okay, take your seat." And I take my seat, and then everybody in the freaking class is like, "Oh my god, you're the one who got punched? Oh my god, you're badass." And like, I'm like, "No, I'm not. I tried to stop a fight." And it's like, "Why would you try to?" Like, a lot of people were like also asking me, "Why would you?" I'm like, "Because I don't like seeing people fight." Like, why would you try to stop the fight? I'm like, "Because I don't like to see people fight." But for like a month after that, people were like, "You're the one who got punched by that person. Oh my god, are you okay?" And then for like the next week, I had this big freaking bruise on my jaw right here that people saw, and it's like, "Can I see it?" "Oh my god, I didn't think he hit you that hard." And hey guys, I forgot to mention that when I'm putting the photo of the bruise in, this was like a week after, because I didn't take pictures. I don't know why I didn't take pictures, but I didn't. And the bruise was really brown and purple and, you know, all that other stuff. And this was a week after, so when you see the bruise, it looks much smaller and like lighter than it actually was. But this was like a week after, and also the fact that if I get bruises, I heal really, really fast. So I just want to let you know, so when you see this picture of the bruise, you're like, "Oh wow, she's being over dramatic." You know, I'm just letting you know, because I'm honest like that. I'm an honest little person. Because apparently this whole fight that happened was about this guy who hit his girlfriend, and her guy friend found out and tried to kick his ass. Which, I'm not against. Like, if you're going to hit somebody, especially your girlfriend, you deserve to get your ass kicked, but can you do it at a different place? Because I didn't know what the fight was starting about. Like, I've seen fights before in school. I've seen, there's another story where a friend got her arm freaking dislocated from trying to break up a fight, and then another girl got her skull cracked open. That's a whole nother story, and I don't even know the full details of it. But I just remember, like, going to my next classes. I remember, like, my next class afterwards when I finally was able to go. Like, he was a really cool teacher, too. But I don't know how to say it, but I think it's funny. Like, he looks at me, he's like, "Are you okay?" Like, whisper, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I told, like, and this class was small, and I had, like, a good amount of friends in there. And they're like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, I got burned this morning with hot glue, and then I got punched in the face." It's like, and then everybody again, "Oh, you're the girl who got punched in the face from trying to stop that fight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." My last class was even worse, though. Because in this class, like, I had people who were, like, friends to acquaintances, and then, like that, like, like, frenemies or acquaintamies. Like, when they're acquaintance, but they're also enemies, but you'll have a good time with them and talk. Like, they're assholes, essentially. I have those people, and it's like, he's like, one girl's like, "So I guess I'm like, did it hurt? And I'm like, no, not really that much. I lied because it did hurt. I'm like, she's like, oh, so you're not a little bitch? And I'm like, yeah. It was awkward, to say the least. Again, the teacher's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I am fine. Because by that point, the bruise was already forming. It was red and swollen, all right here. Because I got punched hard. My lip was like finally crusted, dusted, and busted. Thanks, James Charles, for the term. My fingers, though, were wrapped up, so like this hand was like almost unusable. Like, cause the nurse wrapped each individual finger with the gauze and the ointment, and then wrapped that up with gauze. So my hand was like flat like this with my thumb sticking out. But I remember also coming back the next day. I took the gauze off, and you saw like the burns on my fingers, my busted lip. It was small, but it stayed for like 3 weeks because every time I would talk, it would like split open and start bleeding. It was gross, I know. But the bruise stayed the longest. It literally stayed for like 2-3 weeks, and that was the weirdest 2-3 weeks of my life. Okay, I think I've rambled enough about this story, so let's get to the outro. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video of me talking about the time. Well, I don't know how to. Again, I don't know how to title this video. I'll figure it out during editing. But me getting punched in the face, burned. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Remember to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Click the little bell icon to see more videos from me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye. Hey y'all, I was just editing the videos right now, getting started on editing the videos, and I forgot to mention, because I did my makeup today, if you want to see all the products I used and how to do this look. I never really explained how to do it, just like the products and stuff. Check out my makeup Instagram, link in the description down below. Bye guys.